Savinyam Karvavati Vedasvinavadikamastu Yajvishavariti Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamādaya Purnamevāvasishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Āpyayantu mamānukāni Pranashchakshushrotramatu balamindriyāni ca sarvāni Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Mam Brahma Nirakuriyāt Mam Brahma Nirakarot Nirakaryastu Tadatmani nirate Yaupanishatsu dharmaste mai santu Te mai santu Om Shanti 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 Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Ityetadaksharam Udgītamupāsīta Om Ityuddhāyate Tasyopavyakhyanam Yatra Nānyat Pashyate Nānyat Shranoti Nānyat Vijanati Sabhuma Athayatra Anyat Pashyate Anyat Shranoti Anyat Vijanati Tadalpam Yo vai bhuma tadamrutam Asayadalpam tanmartyam Sabhagavah kasmin pratisthita iti Sve mahimni Yadivana mahimniti Yatra nanyat pashyati Where one does not see the other. The meaning is that it is said when one does not see the other, what is meant is where in seeing the duality of the other, the seen and the seen is not involved. Where in seeing, in knowing the duality of the other, that is Anyadrashta, Anya Karanena, Anyat Vibhaktam Pashyati. In the normal seer-seen transaction or interaction, the seer is one, drashta is one, drush is another one, karanam, so karta, karma, karanam, kriya. Karta, the seer, karma, the seen, karanam, the means of seeing, and kriya, the act of seeing. All of these are different from each other, This is the normal way of seeing. So Vashyakara does not say there is no seeing involved. But Dvaita samvyavahara vilakshano bhuma iti uktam bhavati. Where the seeing is quite different from the seeing with which we are accustomed to. So, nanyat pashyati. What the Shruti means is that the anyat, the duality between the seer and seen is not there. Not that seeing is not there. Not that knowing is not there. But the knowing which takes place in the day-to-day realm, where the knower, the known, all of these are different from each other. That kind of knowing is not there. That's what is meant here. So Vashyakara explored the other possible meaning of this passage, where somebody says, Nanyat pashyati, one does not see the other. So the other is denied. So svatmanam pashyati, it can be interpreted as bhuma is there where one sees one's own self. But that position was dismissed. Atmanah nirvishesha ekatva abhyupagame. Understand that it is already established that Atma is nirvishesha ekatvam. Atma is one without any qualification. Meaning Atma is one with Brahman. The individual is one with universal without any qualification. What's the qualification? That Jiva is part of Brahman. That's the qualification. So, Tattvamasi Tasmin Tvamasi. Where Brahman is Ashraya, Jiva is Ashrita. So where the Ashraya, Ashrita, Bheda is there. So this is the interpretation. So Yatra Anyat Pashyati. Yatra means where one does not see the other. So where is taken in a primary sense. Where one does not see the other. So where means what? In Brahman, in Bhuma. So Bhuma stands for Brahman or Ishvara. One means Jiva, where in Ishvara, the Jiva does not see the other. The Jiva sees himself. So Vashyakara said, Atmana nirvishesh ekatva abhipagame. When Atma is accepted as non-dual with Brahman, without any qualification, not any relationship part and whole, or Ashraya Ashrita, nirvishesha, nisankocha, without any qualification, without any condition, the Jiva is one with Brahman. When we accept that, darshanadi kriyakarika phalaveda abhyugamasya shabdamatratvat. Then you say that, all right, if you do not accept the other seer and the seen, the Purva Pakshi said that, why not you say that Atma alone is the seer, Atma is the seen, Atma is Kriya, Karma, Karana, Karta, all of this is Atma. So Atma eva nana karana karaka rupena vartate. Atma alone manifests as Karta, one Karaka, Karma, other Karaka, Karanam, third Karaka, Kriyati Phalam. He says, how do you visualize this? Says, Shabda Matratvat. You can philosophize, but when we say Atma is one with Brahman, Atma is Brahman. And Brahman is nirvishesha, meaning that without any qualification. Therefore, this qualification that Atma alone manifests in different ways, so Svagata Bheda is there, Shabdamatratva. It's just in words, not in reality. Then there was a question of Yatra Nanyat Pashyati, where one does not see. So Yatra is where the location, Adhikaranam, the seventh case. So that implies that there is a location, Yatra, Ashraya and Ashrita. There is the location and the located, support and supported, and they are different. So Brahman is the Ashraya, Jiva is Ashrita. Says no, looking at Brahman, this Ashraya, Ashrita, this is not possible. And in Brahman, Swatmanam Pashyati, one sees oneself, that also is not possible. Why? Adrushye anatme anilayane anirukte anilayane abhayam pratishtham vindate. Yada hyavaya tasmin. The Upanishad clearly says that when the wise person gains established fearlessly, means non-dual, in non-dual way, in Brahman, which is adrishyam, anatmyam, which is unseeable, which is beyond perception. So Upanishad is very clear that Atma or Brahman cannot become the object of the conventional perception, adrishya. Anatme, if Atma has a body, then it can become the object of perception. Anatme, which is bodiless. Also, is very clear that Sat, which is Jagat Karanam, alone is Satyam, Tasasa Atma, Tattvamasi. That alone is Atma. So that being the case also, iti shashte nirdharitatvat. So this also is very clear. Sat ekameva dvitiyam. Sat alone is Satyam, that alone is non-dual, that alone is Atma. So then the Kriya Karaka Phala Bheda, a Svagata Bheda in Atma is not possible. So first Atma is not seeable, so seeing is not possible. And the internal difference within Atma is not possible. Therefore it cannot be that one part of Atma sees the other part of Atma. That cannot be. Then why does Upanishad Yatra Nanyat Pashyati? So why does Upanishad use these words Yatra where the location is not intended? Nanyat Pashyati, where one does not see the other. So why should you say Yatra na Pashyati? Na Pashyati. Sabhuma. So if Yatra cannot be interpreted as Ashraya Ashrita, and Anyat cannot be interpreted as Svatmanam Pashyati, so you dismiss our explanation. Then what is your explanation? From what you say that these words Yatra and Anyat Visheshanam Anarthakamiti, both of these are meaningless. Says na avidyagata bheda apekshatvat. Says no, remember that this statement is made before a person who has a certain orientation. It's very important. So to arrive at the meaning or tattvarya purport of a statement, it is important to take into account who is making that statement and to whom the statement is made. So to whom is a statement made where one does not see the other, etc.? Avidya bheda apekshatvat. It is told to a person who so far thinks that the bheda, the duality of the karta, karma, karanam is real. Because of ignorance, the listener thinks that in fact the karma or drishyam is different from drashta. Therefore, yatha sati anekatva sadvaitoddim prakrutam avidya kalinam apeksha. So the student thinks that sat is anekatva, ghatasan, patasan, hasti san ghatah, san patah, san hasti. That the pot is, cloth is, elephant is. So this person thinks that everywhere is different. So Sat is many. That's what one thinks. Because of that you are different, you that existence is different, I am different, Atmas are many. Therefore, Anekatva, Sadvayatva. That the person thinks that the Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata Bheda, all are different from each other. All differences are there. So with that orientation the student is. To him he said. So, for example, when you say that what you take to be the snake is in fact rope, why do you have to say what you take? Just say this is rope. So he sees snake where there is rope, say this is rope. Says no, because of ignorance he thinks that this is snake. So the idea of snake must be removed from his mind before he can see the rope. This is rope. When you say that, even the snake doesn't go away, and then he tries to somehow, bring in rope also in his mind. So, taking into account the orientation of the listener who thinks that this is a snake because of ignorance, therefore he has to be told what you think is snake is in fact is a rope. So you think that Sat is Sadvitiyam, is Anekam, Atma is many, Atma has all these dualities. So, Prakrutam avidya kalinam apeksha. Keeping in mind that kind of a conclusion that the listener or the student has. Anudya, you must do anuvada. So when you say what you take to be a snake is in fact a rope. So this what you take to be a snake is called anuvada. Reiteration of what is in his mind. And then it is negated. So you negate something which is false. The student should know what is negated. When you say this is rope, in your mind you are negating the snake, but the student may not quite understand the snake is negated here. So what you take to be the snake is in fact rope, makes it very clear that the snake is negated. Therefore, sadvidiyatva, anekatva. So student takes anekatva, manyness, sadvidiyatva, the duality. Therefore, na anyat pashyati. Na anyat, the anya is negated. Because in the mind of the student, anyat, the drashya, is anyat different from drashta. So where it is not there, that is bhuma. Evam bhumni ekasmin eva yatra iti visheshanam. Similarly, even though in bhuma there is no adhikarana, adhikartavya duality, but the student thinks that I am part of Brahman or something like that. Everybody has some kind of a conclusion that you are located in Ishvara. Even that also has to be negated. Therefore, yatra also is negated. So Tikakara said that specifically the anyat is na anyat, anyat is negated. Na yatra is not stated, but that na should also be brought to yatra, and somehow you must also understand that yatra means where, so adhikana, adhikartavya, the location and the located, that duality also must be understood as being negated here. Avidya avasthayam, on the page 334, second line, avidya avasthayam anya darsana anuvadena cha bhumnah tat abhavatva lakshanasya vivakshitatvat. So anyat, but anyat is what? Anuvada. Avidya avasthayam anya darsana. When a person is ignorant, the person thinks that he is simply a seer, just a subject, and takes himself to be different from the object. So he thinks that there is real anya, the object is real different from me, the subject. So what anyat is anuvadena, is reiteration, anuvada. Bhumna na anyat, that bhuma is something distinct from, different from the realm where the duality of the subject object is there. Meaning that bhuma is devoid of the duality of subject and object. Nanyat pashyati iti visheshanam. Tasmat samsara vyavahara bhumni nasti iti samudayartha. Samsara vyavahara, the interaction of samsara involving the different kinds of dualities is not there in bhuma. One is awake, but then one does not have this notion that I am the knower. In knowledge of bhuma or Brahman, the idea that I am a knower also does not remain. If the idea I am a knower remains, then bhuma becomes known, then again the subject-object duality is there. So when knower also drops, vijñātāramare kena vijaniyāt, kena kartra, kena karanena, kam vijñātāram, kaha vijaniyāt, who will know? Meaning that karta, karma, karana, this duality is not there. It is samudayartha. To negate this duality, which so far the student has been taking to be real, to negate that duality is the purpose of this passage. Yatra anyat pashyati, anyat shrunoti, anyat vijanati, tadalpam. So Atha yatra avidya vishay anyah anyena anyat pashyati. So as long as this difference of the seer and the seen is there, so long there is ignorance. Meaning that as long as one sees oneself as a subject distinct from the object, so long it does not know. As long as something is taken to be different from oneself, and oneself is taken to be different from something, anything else, there is no duality whatever. That nothing is different from me. Nothing whatever. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat, whatever there is in the creation, nothing is different from me. Nothing stands apart from me. Is all me. Until that vision does not come. So until then one is ignorant. Tasmat tasarvam abhavat. By virtue of that knowledge, this one became everything. I am everything. Nothing is separate from me. So whenever I look at anything, I don't get the idea that I am looking at something different from me. Just as when I look at a reflection in the mirror, I don't have idea that I'm looking at someone different from me. Even though it appears inside the mirror and different, whatever it is, he may appear also strange and distorted, still I don't have that idea. Similarly also when all the bheda goes away in oneself, that I am a subject different from the object. I am located, there is some location. Then all the difference is, as long as the difference is there, so long there is ignorance, so long alpam, because then one is limited. As long as one looks upon oneself as an individual, however great that individual is, however great I think I am, or even the whole world may say, still, as long as I am not free from the sense of individuality, so long I am ignorant. Tad alpam. However great you may be, still you are insignificant. It's most amazing. I mean, insignificant. As long as ignorance is there, one cannot be free from the sense of insignificance. Or as long as one thinks that one has to become significant, so long one is still ignorant. Never. Yatra avidya vishe anyah anyena anyat pashyati. That's all. Where the duality between the karta, karma, karanam, kriya is taken to be real, there is avidya vishe, that's in the realm of ignorance. Tadalpam. So then so long one is alpam, one is limited, one is finite, meaning one is insignificant. Avidya kalabhavi, that insignificance, that smallness, that finiteness, how long will it be? Avidya kalabhavi will exist only as long as ignorance is. It's not a permanent thing, thank God. Alpatvam, the sense of insignificance, is not being a reality, cannot remain forever. Avidya kalabhavi. Because the duality is the product of ignorance. There is no duality in reality. What is Brahman? And to think that in that Brahman there are these differences. So long it is ignorance, it's superimposition. That first I superimpose upon myself the idea of a subject. The idea of an individual is the first superimposition. And that brings about the superimposition object upon other. And so, as long as one does not see that, all this is superimposition, born of ignorance, ignorance of one's own true nature, not ignorance of something else, ignorance of my own self, not knowing my own dimension, not knowing my own greatness. Mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro na shochati. One becomes free from shoka or grief, which comes from a sense of insignificance. When one says Mahantam vibhum atmanam, one sees oneself as all inclusive, all pervasive. But fortunately, all of this suffering is avidya kala bhavi. Only as long as ignorance is. Yatha swapna drishyam vastu prak prabodhat tat kala bhavi tadvat. Very beautiful example. Yatha swapna drishyam vastu. Just as a vastu or the thing or entity that you see in dream. And that entity, you see it as different from you, so it becomes a cause of your problem or grief. Anything that you see different from you will become a cause of your, or potential cause of your unhappiness. In fact, that is unhappiness. Panchadashi says that just to see something different. That seeing which involves duality, that itself is unhappiness. You don't need any other unhappiness. To look upon oneself as different from others, in that duality itself, that is unhappiness. And that unhappiness then will be articulated as whatever, but the thing is that is unhappiness. Now, continuing the page 334, Tatah iti. So for Tatah, the Tika says here in the line 32, so Kala Parichedat Alpatvamaha Avidya Kala Bhaveti. Ida Upalakshanam Desh Vastu Parichedayapi Sambhavat, meaning that ignorance causes the duality of Desha, Kala and Vastu, the space, time and object. तथापि तस्य मृषात्वमपि सूचयितुम् अविद्याकालभावित्वम् अत्र उक्तम्. So even though there is sambhava, there is the possibility of the limitation of time, space and object, still tasya mృషాత్వం, that limitation that one feels about oneself, that I am limited in time, I did not exist before this time and will not exist after that time. That I am confined to one place and I am not simultaneously in another place. That I am a vastu having this qualification and not other qualification. Mrushatvam, all of this is mrusha or mithya. It is suchayitam avidya kala bhave. So Bhashyakara said that the very idea of kala comes from avidya. The idea of time comes from ignorance. Then the Tika says, Atha yadalpam tan martamiduvakyam vyavahitamapi. See, if you look at the passage on the page 331, so yatra anyat pashyati, anyat shrunoti, anyat vijanati tadalpam. Yo vaibhuma tadamrutam. Atha yadalpam tan martyam. So what Bhashyakara does is, anyat vijanata dalpam, atha yadalpam tan martyam. That's how Bhashyakara explains. Yo vaibhuma tadamrutam, he will explain later. So even though these two statements are separated, anyat vijanati dalpam and yadalpam tad martyam, even though vyavahitam means they are separated, still Bhashyakara connects them, having explained what is alpam, yadalpam tad martyam. So going back to Tika, see yadalpam tad martyam vakyam vyavahitam api, even though there is an intervention between the separated Vyakhyada Vakyokta Alpatva Hetu Upajivitvad. Vyakhyada Vakyotva. So, yatra anyat pashyati, anyat vijanati, anyat shrunoti, tad alpam. That Vyakhyada Alpatvam. Alpatvam is where limitedness is there, where there is a duality of the subject, object, etc. And so tad alpam, that is why? Because alpam tan martyam. The reason is whatever is limited is mortal. So therefore, vyakhyada vakyokta alpatva hetu upajivitatvat. This athaya dalpam tan martyam provides hetu, the reason why wherever the duality is there, is alpam. The sambandhata server, Bhashyakar connects them and explains, Ateva tataheva. So Bhashyakar says, tataheva tanmartyam. So since where anyat is there is alpam, that therefore it is martyam. So the connection is between the cause and effect. Since yatra anyat pashyati, where one sees the other, since there is alpam, tataheva, for that very reason, it is martyam, it is mortal. So says Anani tataheva parichinnatvad tataheva. Because it is parichinnam, because it is limited, therefore tan martyam, it is mortal. So tataheva tan martyam vinashi swapna vastvadeva. For that very reason, because alpam, therefore martyam vinashi. So it is mortal because it is alpam. That's how the hetumat. That because there is alpam, therefore it is martyam. Tatan martyam vinashi. How? Swapna vastvadeva. So vinashi is nicely explained here. Bhashyakara gives the example of swapnam for explaining what is vinashi. He doesn't say, he could have said that the things in the waking state also are all mortal. But that would not become clear to us because that remains. But it's very clear to us that the dream comes to an end when you wake up. The dream is vinashi. The dream is mortal. Is subject to destruction is very clear that when you wake up, nothing remains. In here, Vyavhara, nothing totally gets destroyed really. Even if you break this pot, something shards remain. And if you break that, and something remains. So you can never destroy anything totally. One thing that gets destroyed is swapna. Or Rajju Sarpa also could have been said, meaning what is pratibhasikam, what is the individual superimposed, that completely goes away when you wake up, when you have the knowledge. So this is mortal in the wake of knowledge. The dream is recognized as vinashi, as mortal or destructible in the wake of waking up. So what is waking up? You wake up to the reality of yourself. That you are so and so. In the dream, you were ignorant of your reality, of what you are in the waking state. Therefore, Atma Puranam said that this beggar who, when he is dreaming, he is ignorant of his status as beggar. And the dream, he sees himself as a king. And vice versa, again in the dream, the king who is ignorant of his nature of being a king sees himself as a beggar. So how ignorance can bring about a completely different perception? How long will that remain? As long as he is dreaming. Once he wakes up, then he becomes awake to his true reality. That I am a king, I am a beggar. Then the projection that was brought about by ignorance no more remains, cannot remain. So knowledge that I am king, the notion that I am beggar cannot stand together. They cannot coexist. That is called negation. So that is called distraction. In the real sense, the notion that I am a beggar is completely destroyed in the wake of knowledge that I am king. That's a real distraction. Avinashu tadvidhi. That's what Bhashyakara in Gita also says. Avinashu tadvidhi. Yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham na kasyit karma. Antavanta ime dehaha. Nityasyoktah sharirina. Antavanta ime dehaha. Lord Krishna says all these bodies are antavanta. All of them are subject to death or end or cessation. In what sense they are subject to cessation? Bhashyakara in Gita also says, like the Swapna Dehas, like the body in the dream also gets completed, because otherwise nothing gets destroyed. Only thing that can really get destroyed without leaving a trace is only that which is mithya. The rope snake can go away without leaving any trace. And then only there can be the knowledge of rope without any kind of influence of the snakeness. Because snakeness is completely false. It's completely negated. And so also, that Alpatma is mortal completely gets negated in the wake of the knowledge of one's own self. Then Tika says, line 35, Idanim yo vai bhuma iti vakyam vyataste. So in between vakya, that was left out, Bhashyakara now explains, yo vai bhuma tad amrutam. So Bhashyakara now explains that. Tad viparitaha bhuma yaha tad amrutam. Tad viparitaha. Alpatva viparitaha. Quite different from or contrary to alpam or limited is limitless. So that viparita means what? So limitless is not opposed to limited. Limitless is where the limitation is not there. So that viparita, limitless is not opposed to anything. What is limitless? Where the idea of limitedness is absent. Tad viparitaha bhumaya tad amrutam. So what is bhuma? Where the idea of alpatvam or limitedness is not there. And that is amrutam, that is immortal. So what is immortal? Where mortality is not there. Where is mortality? Where the idea of duality is there, there is mortality. Why is the idea of duality? Because of ignorance. So in wake of knowledge, when ignorance is dispelled, then the idea of duality is dispelled. Idea of limited, alpatvam, limitedness is destroyed. So what remains, in as much as that limitedness was a superimposition, therefore it gets destroyed completely, leaving what really is, namely limitlessness. So tad viparito bhumaya tat amrutam. So yo vai bhuma tadam, yo vai bhuma is masculine. Tat amrutam is neuter. So how come? So says Anandagiri, katham tad amrutam iti bhumni tat shabda prayoga. Yo vai bhuma tad amrutam. Tad refers to bhuma, yo. So yaha is what is introduced. Yo vai bhuma, that bhuma which is such and such, that is immortal. So yaha and saha should be there. Yaha and tat is there. How come? Katham tad amrutamiti bhumni tat shabda prayoga. So why does the Upanishad use the word tat for referring to yaha which is bhuma? Or also says other tika, line 35, bhumnah tat shabden anuvadat sahiti vaktavyam yo vihuma saha amrutam. That should have been said. Iti ashankya videya apekshaya klivatvam tat shabdasya. So videya, what is to be told is videya. What is known and what is to be told. Subject and predicate. So then, videya is there and apeksha is there. What is it? Videya and uddesha, right? Uddesha. So videya is what is to be told. So bhuma is what is known and that is to be told as amrutam. So about bhuma something is to be revealed. Amrutam. So therefore, videya apekshaya klibatvam. So important is videya, what is to be said rather than what is known. So the uddesha is what is known and videya is what is to be known. Subject is known, predicate is to be known. And therefore, yo vai bhuma, so that is known. What is to be known? What is to be known now? Tad amritam. So what is to be known is called videya, is more important than what is already known. And therefore, that is given prominence in deciding what the pronoun will be. Therefore, klibatvam tat shabdasya. Therefore, amrutam is more important than bhuma. Therefore, that pronoun instead of saha is with tat in respect of amrutam. Videyasyavi bhava bhavitroho aveda vivakshaya. See, bhava is always neuter. Amrutatvam is always neuter. Apekshaya bhava paratvena klibatvam. Therefore, even though bhuma is actually, so bhumatvam will be bhava. Bhuma is limitless. Bhumatvam is limitlessness, So limitless and limitlessness are taken to be equal here. And the limitlessness is always neuter in Sanskrit. Therefore, that tat, the neuter, can be justified. So Bhashyaka is tat shabdah. Tat shabdah amrutatva paraha. See what Bhashyaka is? Amrutatva paraha, not amruta paraha. So yo vai bhuma tat amrutam, tat amrutatva is bhava. So amrutam and amrutatvam are taken to be equal, bhava bhavitra. So bhuma is taken as amrutatvam. And amrutatvam in bhava is always neuter. So therefore, tat shabda amrutatva paraha. So bhuma is explained. That passage, which is Lakshana or the character of Bhuma, is explained. Then says Narada, ask the question. Says Anandagiri, Bhumnaha sukhatva vachanat tasya cha ashrayam pruchhati. Yo vai bhuma tad amrutam tad anandam tad sukham. Yo vai bhuma tad sukham. Nalpe sukham asti. That is bhuma is sukham or happiness. So then we want where is that happiness? Bhumna sukhatva vachanat. Since bhuma is said is sukham or happiness, therefore tasya cha ashrayam pruchhati. Where is that bhuma? Where should I find him? So because happiness is what you want and bhuma is happiness. So where is bhuma? Tasya cha ashrayam pruchhati is asking the location of bhuma. Oh, going back to the tika, now we have to complete that. So klibatvam anyatha asau amruta iti shruveta iti bhava. Yo bhuma asau amrutam. If the pronoun was in preference to the uddeshya, then asau. It is videya, then tat. Nache bhava pradhana nideshasya prayojana abhavaha. So what's the need of saying amrutatvam? Moksha rupatva pratiti dvara. So amrutatvam gives you the pratiti that this is moksha, immortality. Nityatvasya tato labhat. That Amrutatvam also is Nityam because it is moksha. Nacha bhumna darshanadi agocharatve tat pratidi anupatidi shankyam. But just now you say that Bhumara Brahma is adrushye. So, darshanadi agocharatve. Na anyat drishyad, na anyat pashyadi, na anyat shranoti, na anyat vijanati. Meaning what? It is not darshana gocharam, nor shravana gocharam, nor vijnana gocharam. So, darshanadi agocharatve katham tat pratiti. How do you say that there is pratiti or perception of bhuma? Iti na shankyam akhndaikarasānandasya bhumna swaprākāṣatvēna sushuptyādishu sadhana abhāvepi pratiti darshanāt. Akhanda ekarasanandasya bhumna. Bhuman, that is akhanda ekarasananda. We are on page 335, first, line 20th. So, nacha bhumna darshanādi agocharatve iti shankyam akhanda ekarasanandasya bhumna. Bhuman, which is akhanda ekarasanandam, anandam, ekarasanandam, akhanda ekarasanandam, homogeneous ananda. Uninterrupted, homogeneous ananda. Oh, homogeneous means uninterrupted anyway, but still. So not only it is akhanda, homogeneous, but it is ever the same. Thing can be homogeneous and still change, but ever the same. Swaprakāṣatvena. Fortunately, Bhuma is swaprakāṣam. It is self-effulgent, self-revealing. Therefore, no effort is made to make it reveal, to reveal it. Sushuptyādishu sadhana bhāvepi pratidarshanaāt. In Sushupti also, one experiences happiness and one is in a way aware of it also. So Pratiti is there. The Tikakari explained. That is, Pratiti means that is the awareness of one's being happy in the deep sleep state, because happiness is self-revealing. That. Tadetat upadam vidya prakashe. You see it this year. Vidya prakashe is what? Is the anubhuti prakash of Vidyaranya. So there Vidya prakasha. Akhandaikarasananda soyamatma. This is the Chela, So therefore he quotes it again and again. Akhandaikarasanandasya ananda soyamatma swayam prabha. Akhanda ekarasa ananda, that is Atma, Swayam Prabha, self-effulgent. Samadhi supti murchashu bhasade sadhanam vina. Says pramana vyaparamantara aparoksharupam swaprakasat. What is swaprakasam? What is self-effulgent? Self-effulgent is that which does not require any pramana. See, this flower is not self-effulgent because the perception of flower requires pramanam, the means of perceiving. Without that pramanam, without the eyes, this flower could not reveal itself. So that which reveals itself, or that which is revealed, without the need of the means of knowledge, is self-effulgent. That's only one thing. And so, pramana vyaparamantara aparokshatva rupam swaprakasatvam, and that is also aparoksham, immediate, yat sakshat aparokshat brahma. So that was said, samadhi supti murchasu bhasate sadhanam vina. In samadhi, supti and murcha, sadhanam vina. So karanam vina, pramanam vina bhasate. It shines without any means of knowledge to reveal. The means of knowledge reveals the object of knowledge. But here to reveal Atma or Brahman, Bhuma, you do not need a means of knowledge because it is self-revealing. So Tika Ataha therefore, Ananda Jnanayoho Supto Bhanam Srutya Sadhayati. What makes you say that you experience Ananda in deep sleep? Or you experience ignorance? So, smritya sadhayate. By the smriti, you arrive at this conclusion that there is the experience of Ananda and ignorance in deep sleep state. Utthita sukhamasvapsam न जाने यदि स्मरेद इत्यादिना. Utthita. The fellow is woken up from sleep. What does he say? Sukhamasvapsam. I slept happily, I slept well, I slept sound sleep. न जाने अन्यदिति. I do not know anything else. So I slept, I had a sound sleep, means he experienced, he reveals, this is a memory of his experience in deep sleep state, he reveals that he was experiencing happiness in deep sleep. And na jane, that he did not know anything, that is experience of ignorance, ityadina. Then Tika continues, nanu, bhumnaha, adharavattvena, sadvidiyattvena, yatra ityadina, ukta lakshana, anupatti. He again comes back to bhumna, yatra. Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijaya. Yatra again comes. Bhumna, adharavattvena. Bhuma requires an adhara. That yatra indicates that Bhuma requires an abode. Sadvidyatvena. So Bhuma is a location and it is located. Happiness is has a location, is located somewhere. Yatra ityadana ukta lakshana anupatti. So what do you say that Bhuma is devoid of this duality of the other adaya is not possible because anything that you can see something only when something is located somewhere. Comes in a different way. See, Adhar ahave tad jnanameva na sambhavati ghatadehe sarvasya sadharasya pratidarshanat. So when you see a pot, you see also my hand, which is where the pot is located. It is not possible for you to see a pot without seeing my hand. That would be a miracle. Can you see the pot without seeing my hand? Can you see this cloth without seeing the table? No. So, what is cloth? Adhaya. What is table? Adhara. What is pot? Adhaya. What's my hand? Adhara. Adhaya. It is not our experience that adhaya is perceived without the perception of adhara. Ghatadehe sarvasya sadharasya pratidarshanat. We don't see anything without adhara. So whatever is perceived always is located somewhere. That's our experience. Whatever is perceived, whether it's a pot or anything, cloth, well, it's located somewhere in the body. So ghatadehe sarvasya sadharasya pratidarshanat. The pot, etc., whatever it is, only we find that sadharasya, always an adhara, is always a location. Therefore, adhar abhave tad jnanameva na sambhavati. If something has no location, then you won't see. Because for something to exist, it always needs some support to be located. Any tangible things. Therefore, you say that Bhuma is devoid of the adhara adhayatva. Is not possible because if Bhuma is like that, you cannot have pratiti, you cannot have his knowledge. Because you have experienced that you can always have a perception of something which is possessed of a location. So Bhuma also must be located, Sukham must be located somewhere, otherwise you can't see it. Iti abhiprayana pruchyate sa bhagava. Because it's a very strange question in my mind. Why should say Narada asked, so kasmin pratishtha. Already say yatra is negated. But then, yo tat sukham. Happiness cannot be, happiness must be located somewhere. Happiness cannot stand on its own anyway. It's a visheshanam. Visheshanam always requires a vishesha or location. So happiness also is the vishesham of something. So where, and Bhuma is happiness. So it must be some place. Where is it so that I can see that happiness? How do I perceive happiness with Bhuma without seeing its location? So then, says here, Bhashyakara in the 5th line, Satarhe evam lakshano bhuma he bhagavan kasmin pratisthitah iti uktavantam naradam prati aha sanatkumarah Satarhi evam lakshano bhuma. Then Bhuma, which has this characteristic, which devoid of the duality of the subject, object, etc., devoid of duality of the adhara, adheya, then evam lakshano ka bhagavan kasmin pratisthita. Where is that? In the Bhuma, that duality of adhikara and adhikarta is not. But where is that Bhuma located? So Annagiri asks, Vyavahara drishtya prashna, vastu drishtya va. Your question is Vyavahara drishtya, because in normal parlance, you always find a thing located, that's why you are asking that this must be located. So from Vyavahara you want to arrive at Bhuma or vastu drishtya. The thing is, you want to arrive at what Ishvara is based on what the world is. Well, you know, arrive at what the world is based on what Ishvara is. This is a big thing. The whole world wants to arrive at the nature of Ishvara based on what the world is. World is like this, so Ishvara must be like that. Because there is all this unhappiness, Ishvara is like this, Ishvara is like that. Vedanta does not go that way. Vedanta says Ishvara is Purna. Purnameva, therefore world must be Purnam. How can you call it Purnam? If even there is Apurnata, Apurnata has to be Mithya. If reality is Purnam, then Apurna must be Mithya. That's how you arrive at Mithya. People are struggling forever to arrive at the nature of Ishvara by looking at the world. You can never do that. Because you are giving reality to what you perceive. Only when you try to understand what the world is based on what Ishvara is, then you realize that all this is Mithya. Mithya will be clear only that, not otherwise. All Dvaita Acharyas who give reality to the world have a problem with Mithya because they want to arrive at Ishvara based on what you see here. Vedanta says, no, Ishvara is one without a second, so the second must be Mithya. And then you apply reasoning to establish how it is Mithya. Yad drishyam, then jadam, etc., then Mithya. So, Vyavahara drishtya prashna, vastu drishtya. Because in Vyavahara there is always the location of happiness, etc. Therefore you are asking this. Or because that Bhuma is in fact non-dual, therefore you are asking from what standpoint? Adyam Pratyaha with reference to Vyavahara Drishti says Sanat Kumara. So Narada Prati Aha Sanat Kumara. To Narada was asked thus, where is Bhuma located? Sanat Kumara says this. Sve mahimnite Sve Atmiye mahimne Mahatme Vibhutao Pratisthito Bhuma Yadi Pratishthamichase Kvachida. That Vakya should go with the previous Vakya. Yadi Kvachit Pratishthamichase. Because you are oriented, because of ignorance, orientation is what? Everything must have a location. Yadi Pratishthamichase Kvachit. Somewhere there must be Pratishtha or location of Brahman, if that is what you are asking. Sve Mahimni is not somewhere else. Sve Mahimni, Sve means what? Atmiya. So Swa can be one and one's both. So sixth case, Sve Mahimni, in one's own Mahima, one's own glory. Mahatme, one's own greatness. Vibhutau, in one's own, again glory or magnificence, that's the translation. Meaning that Bhuma is established in its own glory, its own greatness, its own magnificence. Yadi, this I am telling you, based on your orientation. Yadi, pradishtham ichchasi kvachit. If you have to know where the pradishtha location is, then this is the answer. Dvitiyam anudya nirakaroti. Vastu dushyava. But if your question is based on Vastu, then this also is dismissed. So says Bhashyakara, Yadiva Paramarthameva Pruchase Namahimnyapi Pratishtitaha Iti Brumaha. Yadiva, on the other hand, Paramarthameva Pruchase, if you are asking from the reality, absolute reality, na mahimnyapi. You cannot say that because normally the mahima and mahimavan are different. That is why. So what is called vyavhara? Because mahima and mahimavan are different. That Bhashyakara will explain, the Upanishad will explain. Here that duality is not there. So paramartham pruchasi. To ask in reality, na mahimnyapi pratishtata iti bhrumaha. We have to say that Bhuma is not located even in its own glory. Tikakara, this one also same thing. Vyavhara dashami prashna tari swajnana tat karya jagati swamahimni pratishtitaha. You can say. The question is, Vyavhara dashayam. यदि प्रश्न है तरी स्वज्ञान तत्कार्य जगति, then you can say Bhuma is located in Jagat. How? Astivadi Priyam Nam Rupam. Where is Astivadi Priyam? In name and form. So Ghata, Asti, Bhati, Priya. And Nam Rupa is there. So where is Astivadi Priyam? In Ghata, in Pata, in Matha. What is Astivadi Priyam? Bhuma. What is Nam Rupa? Jagat. So tentatively you think that Ishvara is in the Jagat, in the Nama Rupa. So tat karye jagati swamahimni pratishtitaha. Then what is Nama Rupa is Jagat, that is karyam of Asti Bhadi Priyam. So karanam or the adhishthanam is as though located in Adhyaropa. That's what it amounts to. When we do not know the adhisthana Adhyaropa sambandha, therefore, when we take Nama Rupa to be real, that's called Vyavhara Drishti, ignorance. When Nama Rupa is taken to be real, then we think that Asti Bhadi Prem is in Nama Rupa. Tatra Asti Bhadi Premetiyavam Satchidananda Bhumna Pratite. Because when do you see Asti Bhadi Prem? Only when Nama Rupa is there. Otherwise Asti Bhadi Prem Pratiti is not possible. It is not possible to conceive of Asti Bhadi Priyam without name and form, in ignorance. Maya karyasya priyadevedanasyapi tadanim angikarat. Because Maya karyam is there, Priya, Moda, Pramoda, whatever it is, and that is why you say Asti Bhadi Priyam. So Priyam is Priya, Moda, Pramoda. So Sve Mahimni, that tentative answer is given. Because of your orientation, if you want to know the location, then take it this way. Gruhana, what? That it is in its own glory. What is the glory? Jagat is the glory. Where is Asti Bhadi Priyam? In Nama Rupa. Yadi pratishtha ichchasi, kvajit tari swamahimniti purnanvaya. Somewhere you want to see pratishtha, then in its own mahima. Paramartha vichare tu pratishtadeva na bhavati. But Paramartha vichare, if you really want to see the absolute, the reality, then there is no pratishtha also. Akashanivat apratishthitasyabhi pratidupatti. Who says that you cannot perceive something which is not located? A space is not located and still pratit is there. Again, you can't see it with eyes, but still, just as you know the space, even the space doesn't have a location. Space is location for everybody. Space doesn't have a location. In Vyavahara. So यदि वह परमात्मा पृच्छसि न महिमने अभी प्रतिष्ठित ब्रह्म, then what? Last sentence says अप्रतिष्ठितः अनाश्रितः भूमा क्वचिदपि इत्यर्थः. अप्रतिष्ठितः. Bhuma is doesn't have pratishtha, doesn't have a location. Anashraya doesn't have an ashraya. So it doesn't have a support, doesn't have a location, doesn't have a basis of pratishtha. It has no base, no pratishtha, no anashraya, no location. That's what Bhuma is. Meaning that in the knowledge of Bhuma, the idea of this ashraya, etc. has to go, pratishtha. It is pratishtha of everything which doesn't require any other pratishtha. It is the locus of everything which does not require any locus. Alright. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.